Definition. 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 Let's talk about the word definition. So, definition is a noun, which means it refers to a thing, quality, or state. In common usage, when we say definition, we usually mean an explanation of what something, like a word, concept, or idea, means, often including its characteristics and boundaries. For example, if someone asks you for the definition of sustainable development, you would give them a clear explanation of what it entails. Right? Now, one special note about using definition is that sometimes people use it to refer to an abstract concept, like in philosophy or science. But other times it can be more concrete, like defining a word's meaning in a dictionary. Just remember, when you're talking about a word's definition, you're usually looking for the specifics, what makes it tick. In a formal university setting, a professor might say to her students, "The definition of a successful social movement is a topic we will be discussing in today's lecture. Please take out your notes." Here, the professor uses the word definition to refer to an explanation or description of what constitutes something. In this case, a successful social movement. In contrast, while having lunch with friends, someone might say, "What's the definition of adulting?" implying they're asking for a casual, colloquial understanding of what it means to be grown up and responsible. Meanwhile, in a business context, a marketing manager might say to her team, "We need to establish a clear definition of our target audience so we can tailor our advertising strategy accordingly," highlighting the importance of precision and accuracy in professional communication. So you want to know about this concept that helps us clearly explain what something means? Well, think of it as a way to sum up all the essential details about something in a concise and precise manner. Its main characteristics are that it's brief, yet complete, like a snapshot of the whole picture. It usually includes key terms, concepts, or ideas related to the thing you're trying to describe. You might also hear people talking about synonyms like explanation, summary, or description. They all kind of do the same thing. When someone uses this concept, they're trying to give a clear and accurate picture of what something is, how it works, or what it entails. It's super useful when you need to quickly get across a lot of information in a way that's easy for others to understand. Derived. 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 So, let's talk about the word derived. The part of speech for this word is a verb, which means it describes an action or a state of being. In common usage, derived means to get something from another source, such as money derived from investments, or ideas derived from research. It can also mean to get something by changing the form of something else, like a word derived from Latin. This verb is often used in academic and technical contexts, but it's not uncommon in everyday conversation either. One special note about derived is that it's related to other words like derive, which is a more general term for getting or obtaining something, whereas derived specifically refers to getting something by changing the form of something else. In a formal lecture on philosophy, Professor Thompson explained that the concept of free will was derived from ancient Greek thought, where philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle explored the idea of moral responsibility in relation to human actions. Meanwhile, over coffee with friends, Emma mentioned that her favorite recipe for chocolate chip cookies was actually derived from her grandmother's old cookbook, which she had inherited after her grandmother passed away. In a business meeting, The CEO announced that the company's new marketing strategy was derived from extensive market research and data analysis, which revealed a significant gap in customer engagement among their target demographic. So, you want to know about this concept that helps us create new words or meanings from old ones. Okay, let me explain. When we take an existing word and add a prefix, suffix, or other part of speech to it, we get a brand new word that's related to the original one. This process is like building with blocks. We take a familiar base and then attach something new to create something entirely different. The main characteristic is that these new words still convey some connection to their parent word, even if they have distinct meanings or connotations. Think of it as a family tree where each new word branches off from an existing one. This concept is closely related to things like etymology and linguistic evolution, and it's used extensively in language learning and everyday communication to create nuance and precision in our words. Distribution. 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 So, let's talk about the word distribution. The part of speech is noun, and it refers to the act of spreading or giving something out, such as goods, information, or power, to people or places. In common usage, distribution can mean the way in which something is shared or delivered, like a package being shipped from one place to another, or news being reported on different media channels. For example, the company's new smartphone will be distributed across 10 countries in Europe, or the news of the concert was distributed through social media. One special note about its usage is that distribution can also imply equality or fairness in sharing something, like a fair distribution of resources or a just allocation of benefits. So you know how they've been talking about climate change in the news lately? Well, in a formal setting like a university lecture, someone might say the distribution of greenhouse gases across different regions is crucial for understanding global warming patterns. Here, distribution refers to the way these gases are spread out and concentrated in various parts of the world. In contrast, if you were chatting with friends about your favorite TV show, you might mention that the new season has been really well distributed on all major streaming platforms, meaning it's easily accessible to everyone. In this case, distribution is more informal and refers to how something is shared or made available to people. And finally, if you were a marketing manager at a company, you might talk about optimizing the distribution of their product line to reach new customers, focusing on efficient logistics and supply chain management. Here, distribution has a more business-oriented meaning, related to getting products from manufacturers to retailers and ultimately into consumers' hands. So, you want to know about this concept that helps people get things they need? It's basically a system where companies or organizations share out goods or services to many people in a fair and organized way. The main characteristics are that it's widespread, available to anyone who wants it, and often provided by a single source. Think of it like a big box of cookies being shared out among a group of friends. Everyone gets an equal amount, and the cookies come from one person or place. Similar concepts might be availability or accessibility, and synonyms could be provision or supply. What this system does is make sure people can get what they need in order to live their lives. Whether it's food, water, education, or even just a chance to learn new things, like a language.